So my tomato is finally turning red. I still don't know what tomato it is. Hello, howdy, and welcome back to another plant update. I'm Catherine, and I'm the Aerogarden Homesteader. So this is the lettuce. This is the new batch of lettuce, and it's actually getting big enough that I can harvest, and I can start harvesting some of the ones I haven't touched yet, but some of these just not getting enough airflow, I think. This one's doing fine though. This one, I've actually been harvesting from this one. This one is huge. So it definitely pays to spread out your lettuce if you want to have nice big heads of lettuce. This one is doing a little bit less nicely. I've got a little bit of the brown spots on the bottom leaves here. I did take out the middle one and I moved that to another Aerogarden, so it would give these ones a little more space. So kind of as I've been freeing up space with the old lettuce plants in those harvests, I've been adding the new ones to them just so that I can, you know, give them a little more space and see if that helps with things. The cabbage, oh my gosh, I'm just so proud of this cabbage. I just can't wait for a head to form. Let me see if I can show you this other one here. This one's looking, they're both looking pretty good. I do feel like it might be a little bit tight to have two in a bounty, but they seem to be doing well. I did end up taking out a bottom leaf. So I think it was from this one and this one. You can sort of see that there is a leaf nub right here. And I did have a way in the back, which is a little hard for me to reach and see. I did have a leaf that had turned brown and started shriveling up and had basically fallen off on its own. So I ended up pulling that off as well. But I do still have this one leaf here that's kind of in the way of the water port. This other one stands up a little bit better, so I don't feel like I have to lift it up out of the way as much, but, you know, it is what it is. This isn't even the next leaf that would come off. It would probably be this leaf that comes off next. It's got a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it, a little bit of browning already. Boy, it's really dark over there. But a little bit of browning on it, so that one might be the next one to come out because it's kind of pushing up against the other one and turning brown and all that stuff. So we'll see. Down here to the bunching onions, and yes, the leek is still in there. I really just need to pull this leek out. It feels like it has grown exponentially since I said it's almost close to filling the basket. Last week it had filled the basket. This week it looks like it's starting to bolt out of the basket. Yeah, it needs to come out. That green onion back there is also doing really well. It has split into two. I didn't know green onions did that, but I guess it kind of makes sense because a regular onion would do that. So, and I did harvest one of the big ones. It took me like 3 salads to eat the whole thing. And these little ones here are still struggling. There's only 2 of them left. They're, I don't know if they're just getting shaded out or if the other plants are just so big they're stealing all the nutrients, but, you know, it is what it is. Basically, it tells me I should just try to start all my bunching onions at once and just try to use them quickly and, you know, so that they do regrow. So I don't know if you can see this one back here. It is regrowing, but, you know, it does take time, obviously. Hey, the green peppers. These ones are they're supposed to be the mild Anaheim. I'm still waiting for this one to change color, so it takes a little while. This one is doing fine. It's got a few little ones on it. Can't remember what this one is. It's got lots of little flower buds. It's doing really well. It's definitely a taller one than this one. Like this one's more open and taller. This one's a lot more bushy and stockier, I guess. And then, in the back, let me see if I can move some of these leaves out of the way. We got the cherry tomatoes. They are doing great. These ones are small. They are really small. I don't remember what they were. I thought I had planted the bigger ones, but I guess I planted the smaller ones. Oh well. I cannot believe how well these green beans are doing. They have put out more fruit, or whatever, veggie matter, and I don't know if you can see all of these, but I came down and I've harvested from it a couple of times. I've gotten at least 4 or 5 off each harvest. It's just been doing really well. There's flowers in there. I don't know that the flowers are getting really well pollinated because I haven't been coming down and tapping them as often as I normally do. So some of the beans that form, they feel hollow inside, like the seed didn't form. So it kind of is what it is. At least I'm getting something from it. The pods still taste fine. But that's that. And the strawberries. So, they are doing well. Even the cilantro is doing well. This one in the back is doing okay. It's probably struggling a little bit. It's hard to tell. They are really covered in little spider mite. I don't know if you can see this webbing here. See the little webbing? The little spider mites just everywhere. It's they were definitely infested. I put some in a big bin here, so they're just covered. It's just so frustrating. I finally got a container out, so I'm going to move these to a container. That'll free up part of this Aerogarden. I'll just leave the cilantro going until it's done, and then I'll bring this one down. I'll clean it up really well, put it in quarantine for, I think it takes 5 days for all of the spider mites to die off. So I keep it in quarantine, and then I box it back up, put it in storage for the next time I need it. But yeah, so these are just, they're all looking really sad. Doesn't matter how much I water it, I think the spider mites are just, they're just doing their thing. There's no natural predators. I need to probably try to spray them down. So, but yeah, no, these ones are doing great. I will keep the runners. Normally I would cut these off, but I'm going to keep the runners so that we can get extra plants. This one's almost ready to start putting our roots. So yeah, I want to keep the plants so that we can put these outside and increase our strawberry patch. Okay, so I'm trying to remember what I have in here. I think these two are the old ones, and they're doing pretty good. I think this one is starting to bolt. This one in the back here. I think it might be starting to bolt because it's kind of doing that. I don't know, you can't really tell on camera, but it kind of develops a bit of a stalk, and it starts growing taller. And that's when I can tell they're starting to bolt. This one is still low, and it hasn't started bolting yet, so this one's fine. I might cut this one out soon, but we'll let it go for a bit. This was a new one, and I feel like it's struggling a little too. Like the fan does reach up here now. Put it up on some boxes of jars, so it should reach, but it's just not really helping. So don't remember what kind that was. Buttercrunch? I think it was a Buttercrunch. So maybe Buttercrunch don't work for me in this situation, in this setup. The kale, oh my gosh, this kale, it's kind of taking over. I feel like my light is not level either. Never noticed that before, but this one in the front, it's a little smaller. The one in the back is definitely a lot bigger. The leaves are definitely starting to come up against the light standard there. So I should probably look into trying to cut off this growing part here, because that will supposedly cause it to bush out, but you know, if it doesn't cause it to bush out, it's fine. But it obviously can't keep growing out of hand. So at some point I'm going to have to stop it growing. This is more of the old original batch of lettuce, or I guess the second batch. The original one came and went pretty quickly. These ones are doing really well still. They're still kind of low. I take a few leaves from them here and there. I have been harvesting enough to get plenty of salads. So my winter garden has done what it needed to do. This is another new one, I believe. I believe I moved this one from the sprout, the little sprout with the 3 in it. So this is where it ended up. I have been slowly taking out these bronze romaines. I have just been cutting them, you know, here as I just showed you. I've just been cutting them and leaving the stems there until I can get around to pulling them out. But there's a lot of root in there, and it's kind of messy. These two also need to get, I ended up lowering the light for this little one here and moved these ones out of the way. But they've also started their bolting process. I don't know if you can see, look, they did this weird, they divided into 2 heads. Never seen that before. I don't know that the one in the back did. Yep, no, actually the one in the back did as well. I don't know if you can see that back there, but there's one on each side. So, but they will get cut probably in the next day or 2. I will cut them out. So if I cut them at the base, I don't have to use the whole thing in one shot. I normally just stick the whole head in the fridge, and I can use that over the course of, a salad or 2, depending. More Buttercrunch. These ones are definitely looking a lot better. I don't know if they're just getting more airflow over here, if they just got more space sooner, but yeah, see, these ones look great. They've got, a little bit of browning at the bottom here. It's kind of to be expected, but no, these ones look awesome. The other ones do not, which is weird. So, this is a new one, I think? I don't remember anymore. I'm starting to get confused. No, this might be one of the old ones, because I did take out the one that was beside it. This is one of the old ones. It is really big and bushy. I just need to start harvesting this one a little bit harder, but, you know, when you've got all of this bronze romaine that all of a sudden started bolting that you got to use first, it kind of puts some of these other ones on the back burner. These are more of the red salad bowl ones that I took out of the Bounty. They are doing really well. They have lots of space to do their thing. I've got nice big leaves out of them. I think I've harvested a couple, you know, here and there. Maybe from this back one because it was a little bigger. But yeah, it's been awesome. Okay, kale. More kale. This one, the light's up a little higher. They are, I don't know why, but it feels like these ones aren't doing as well as the other ones, but I mean, they look like they're doing just fine. So I don't know why I keep thinking that, but they look fine. I wonder if it's because some of the leaves on the bottom do have a bit of yellowing on them. I did increase the amount of food they're getting, so I think I bumped them up to 12 or 15, I think, mils. So, I don't know. Boy, I really have to prune this down. So, it's starting to grow up instead of remaining bushy, so if I just keep cropping the growing heads off, you know, prune them back a little bit, it'll help them bush out a bit more. Part of the problem is I got my kale is encroaching here. Well, that's problem number one. Kale is encroaching. Problem number two is I do have spider mites down here now, so that's going to be a problem. If I want to keep things long term, I got to make sure the spider mites don't spread, which that's just not going to happen. The spider mites are going to spread. Problem number three, I've got a lot of fungus gnats. So really, it boils down to I don't know how much of this garden is going to stay up all year. So. But I have an outdoor garden, so I can take everything down, clean everything up, put everything in quarantine, and start again in the fall. So, the cumin. The plant is finally starting to die back a little bit. There are still some, I don't know if you can see this. Try to get, where's the light coming? There we go. This one is still green, but there's a lot more here that are, come on, right there, that are starting to turn brown. So they're starting to dry out. So the process is happening. There are some, I don't know if this one will show up. These ones did not get pollinated. You see how they're really kind of thin? But then if you come back over here and you look at these ones, you see how they're really fat and plump? So these ones got pollinated. So I tapped at the right time to get these ones pollinated, but I didn't tap at the right time to get like some of these other ones pollinated. See, these ones are really small too. I think they will still have the flavor of cumin, but obviously they're not viable as seeds. Oh, the leeks. These ones, so kind of like the other ones where I said the growth suddenly gets exponential near the end. I feel like, especially this one here, they've stayed small, small, small. They're like forever I just kept saying, oh, they're small, they're behind. They're starting to catch up. This one is definitely getting a lot bigger. It's got another leaf I probably need to peel off. But I feel like there's a couple now, this one in the back, this one here, that are finally starting to get bigger. These ones are starting to look a lot bigger too. So it is happening. It's just taking time. Don't know why, but okay. The celery. I am actually thinking of, so I got 6 in here. I'm thinking of cutting 2 out of one of these bounties and 4 out of another bounty and see if, maybe if I give them more space, they'll have more water, like access to water. Because look, they're kind of going brown in there. I don't know what's going on. But that if I just sort of kept the better ones, that there's only a couple in there, then, you know, maybe they'll do better. So this one's doing a lot better for some strange reason. So I could probably cut out like the ones on the end or something and leave the two groups. So that might give it, it'll probably be less of a water hog because there'll be less plants taking water. This one, because they're just really rough shape, I might take out 4 of them and just leave 2 behind. They won't go to waste. You know, it would be nice if I had chickens that I could feed it to, but I can take the nicer stalks and stems and leaves and put those in the freezer and use that for stock. I do have some bones in the freezer that I've been sort of saving. I'll do a stock video for you guys at some point soon, but I can save these stalks and leaves that wouldn't normally, like these are hollow, they wouldn't normally be the best for eating, but they certainly would be fine for putting in a stock for flavor. broccoli. I don't know if you can see how big these things are. They are really big. Really hard to show the scale. Okay, broccoli is doing really well. It really is a matter of how you harvest it. So if I were to harvest this stem way down here, I would lose out on this, you know, a lot of this side growth. If I harvest it higher up and just take the head or slightly below the head, all of this, where all these leaves are, will push out a whole bunch of new little florets. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a little tiny floret starting there. So that's with everything, all of these. So every time I can kind of try to leave like an area with the leaf, it puts out a new floret. So it's been giving a pretty decent amount of heads. So this is just 3 that are currently in production. So I do need to come in and harvest a few of these today for salad. Over here, this one in the back still has not done anything. So the bounty can handle 4, but I do wonder if 3 might be a bit better. Just to give it a little bit more space, to give it, so it's a little hard to get down to some of these ones that are further down, just because this leaf is from the one beside it. This leaf is from the one beside it. You know, it's just, they're kind of encroaching on each other. So I do wish their layout was slightly better so you could put 3 in easily without having one right next to the light standard, but oh well. Got another yellowing leaf back there. I do get a few yellow leaves from time to time, so I just kind of go through. They're the lower ones, so I can just snap those off. This was the cool one. I finally had some peppers from it, and as you can see, there is one of these ones is starting to change color. It's just got the pale red going on right now. So I did try these. They're almost like, I don't know what they were supposed to be, but they're like a mild jalapeno. So I kept saying, oh, they look like a jalapeno, they look like a jalapeno. Well, I don't know that they are a jalapeno, because look at that, that looks like a jalapeno. And to be fair, there are lots of peppers that all look similar to each other. So I do believe it is like a mild jalapeno. That's what it tasted like to me. So, but it's still kind of a mystery pepper. This one, still waiting for more of these to ripen, but they are nice and sweet. There's no heat to these. So these ones were nice. They're supposed to be a nice snacking pepper. And these ones, I thought they were baby bells. They don't really look like a bell pepper. Like, I mean, it's got an odd shape. It's kind of jalapeno-ish, but with flatter sides. Kind of strange. This one has so many peppers in it. It's just loaded with peppers. Oh, there's another one that's starting to turn red as well. So there's so many in there, it's hard to tell what's going on. And the surprise of the day, yay! Oh man, I can't talk this morning. So my tomato is finally turning red. I still don't know what tomato it is. Got lots back there. Some of them you can see that the green color is starting to lighten up a little bit, so they're going to turn soon. This one might as well. I have no idea what tomato it is, but you know what? It's a tomato. It can be eaten, so kind of doesn't matter. These Romas, maybe it's an almond paste, I'm not 100% sure. They are putting out nice growth. This one's got a nice little side shoot coming on here. There is an awful lot of browning on the leaves though, so it's stressed about something, but I don't know what. The Romas are not getting very long. So I don't know if you can tell. Here, let me see if I can put my hand behind it. But see, it's kind of a short, it's got the right shape-ish, but it's not getting very long. So, oh well. The mini jalapeno, definitely not a mini plant as we already discussed last time, but they are the cutest little peppers ever. I mean, could you imagine doing little jalapeno poppers out of these? You wouldn't have to cut them in half. They would literally be bite-sized. They're already bite-sized. Yeah, those are cool. And over here, this is definitely the, wow, this is a weird looking tomato. This is definitely the Amish paste and Roma one. There's lots of flowers going on. I still try to come through and tap these ones when I can. You know, whenever I'm down here doing water, I try to do that. I did try to take some of the branches, so you see this one's bent down. I'm trying to bend them down under the trellis so that it doesn't go any higher because the light's as high as it'll go. So I am working with some handicaps here. These are, I believe one of them is a determinant and one of them is an indeterminate. So one of them will get really big. I will have to eventually start like pruning the top off, but you know, they're doing pretty good for now. Although I am getting, so this was the sad tomato. It still has a bit of browning here and there. I don't know if you can see in the back, there's some back there that I probably just need to prune out. I don't know if that'll come out on its own, but you know, they're doing pretty good. It's just, I feel like they're stressed about something. But that is what is going on. If you wanted to see the update from last time where I talked about some of the other things and I showed you the ripe pepper, and I can put a link for that. I'm actually putting, I started putting links for the entire playlist in the cards above. So I should probably go back and do that for the rest of them. But yeah, if you want to see what happened last time with some of these to compare growth, I'll leave a link for that. If you found this useful, it would be really nice if you'd like and share so other people can also find this video. This has been so cool. It has been really nice to have, you know, salad on demand pretty much, and with little cost. You know, I don't have to go to the store and buy lettuce, which I don't know about you where you live, but it's really expensive here. So, but yeah, no, this is awesome. So if this is something that you're interested in, you know, make sure you subscribe. Let other people know. Maybe, you know, Christmas is around the corner. Maybe you can ask for something for Christmas. But yeah, this has been fun. You know, I will be starting up a garden series in January, so stay tuned for that. That will be for outdoor gardening. I will also, in the fall, I will start up another winter garden. So stay tuned for that. I'll show you how I planned this one when I start my next winter garden. And I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.